Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the April 21, 2020 Zoom meeting of the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Ozzie Parenti, and I see that we have in attendance at the meeting Commissioners Tarenti, Cornell, Smith, and Kaplan. And we have Zoning Enforcement Officer Jack Demirjian and Administrative Assistant Tammy Trantalis. We also have the applicant on our site plan, the site plan, David Pokris, and we'll get to David in a little bit. But first item on our agenda this evening is a review of the minutes from the April 7, 2020 meeting. Everybody, I assume, has their package and had a chance to look over those minutes.
I'm just going to mute myself for 1 second. This might be the developer calling me now.
Okay. I had just a couple of comments, Tammy, if you're ready.
Okay, yep.
On the second page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth full paragraph, the second sentence starts, Mr. Ham said he understands that the applicant must return before the commission to discuss signage. I think we want to say to obtain a permit for outdoor dining and to discuss signage.
Okay,
And that's made clear, you know, the fact that the outdoor dining, the fact that it requires a separate permit is made clear in other places. I just wanted to make sure that that idea was there as well.
okay.
Speak up, anybody, if you have something.
I've got no changes.
On page three, Tammy, second line. First three words,
Yes,
we have be very tight. That should
Yes.
that should probably read create additional space for vehicles to maneuver.
it would create additional space. Okay,
Yes, if you eliminated the parking space.
okay. Okay,
I think
Got
All
we'll,
I have.
yeah, okay. Anybody have anything else?
No.
Kevin? Kevin, you're good?
Yes, sir.
All right. If that's the case, then somebody prepared to move that we accept the minutes?
Sure. I'll move that we accept the, it's Kaplan. I move that we accept the
Thank
minutes
you.
of the April 7th, 2020 meeting as amended.
okay.
A second from anybody?
I will
I'll
second.
second that.
All right, we have
Who
a
is that?
second from Commissioner Smith.
Thank you.
Here we go again.
Yeah, we have a motion to accept the minutes. It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Uh-oh. Aye.
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 Appears to be unanimous. All right. That was simple enough. Next item on our agenda is old business. Jack, you may want to touch on, you're touching on these in your report.
Yeah, pretty much all my whole report is talking about stuff from last week. If you just want me to give my spiel now.
Well, let's see. One of the things I wanted to bring up under old business was, it's mentioned in the minutes, we talked about it last time, was I wondered if you had any chance to make some progress on the signs on the post road.
Yeah, I started compiling a list of places that have been known to, just have the temporary illegal signs always plastered everywhere. I started a running list, but I haven't had a chance to really go out and do it. I figured it, might just be better do it all in one swoop when, more places are open. But I was thinking, because we're slow this week right now, I might as well go out and do what I can anyways, just
Yeah.
to stay on top of it because there is a ton of places, but I have been compiling a list. Yeah.
All right, good. It's important that we make some progress on that, I think.
Mhm. And like I think Judy mentioned last week, when you guys are driving up and down, feel free to take notes yourself, or if you notice anywhere bad, because there's a ton of places. I could drive up and down forever and not find them all. So
Right. Okay, good. Let's, as long as we're making progress on that, that's
Yeah.
very good. Does anybody else want to bring up anything else under the subject of old business? I know you mentioned the bedding barn property, or we talked about that a bit in our at our last meeting. Do you have any update on that, Jack? Or
I did. I got a chance to stop out there. I think late last week. Yeah, it was probably Thursday or Friday of last week. He is taking apart section by section that retaining wall that the building inspector and engineer had issues with.
Okay.
So they're redoing that right now, compacting, making sure that's all good, and then they're going to finish grading their the back parking lot. But they have to wait until that is accepted by their engineer.
okay, good. So it
They
sounds like-
made it clear, I'm sorry, they made it clear to you, Jack, that they were gonna, after they did their work, they were gonna get it inspected?
Yeah, they have a special inspector there who's been watching the whole process.
Terrific, thank you.
All right, well, that's good news. Sounds like they basically started over with that.
Essentially, they're taking it apart section by section and doing it, right.
All right, good. Anything else under old business?
No,
Okay. Then let's move on to new business. Anybody have anything they'd like to bring up under that topic?
Yes, I'm doing some work down in the town of Westport for a client, and they have adopted a methodology to have public hearings remotely.
Okay.
And while it was being explained to me, it occurred to me that perhaps if Jack called, either the wetlands people who I was speaking with and or, the planning people, it sounded like it was very similar to this format.
Mhm.
It had an element where after the public was noticed and the public documents were all available as PDFs for people to view, that they could type in real-time questions during the public comment period. And it might be, just if you had a moment to find out what that methodology is.
Yeah, I had actually asked around quite a bit this week and last week, and I talked to Josh and a couple of our IT guys. We do have a way of doing it. We could post either my email or some way for them to get in contact with me after the agenda has been posted. And we could either have a running list and they could email me live updates, or I know they did a variation of that at last night's financial committee meeting. But when I called Ozzy about it and see, kind of if we wanted to pursue that, and he had kind of explained that because we don't have any red hot issues, time sensitive issues on there, he said that maybe, we could try to hold off for right now on some of these public hearings, just because, they're not super time sensitive. And, maybe it would all be better, obviously, if we were in one place to talk about them.
Yeah, and I'm all for getting back to, meeting, even if I have to be 6 feet away from Commissioner Smith.
Yeah.
But,
That'll break my heart, Kevin.
okay.
The way in that conversation with Jack, the way I looked at it is we really don't have anything that pressing right at the moment. And I was hopeful that we'd be back maybe for our, back in town hall for our May meetings, or at least the second May meeting. But if it looks like things are going to go on much further, we probably need to.
We do have methods we can go into if it comes to that. If we do feel like this is going on too long, then
I would respectfully suggest that whatever methodology you're talking about, Jack, we should run it by Vin to make sure it's constitutionally acceptable, because there may be people without computers that may have had access to the meeting, in person. And I just want to make sure that we're passing constitutional muster.
We'll do. We talked a little bit last week about it, me and Vin, and I'll make sure before we think of anything officially that I'll run it by him.
Terrific.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's, if we can wait on these things, I think that'd be better. I mean, it's obviously much better if we could do it in person, in the town hall, but we'll have to see. Right now, the only thing on our agenda tonight under public hearings, and it's noted that we're not going to deal with them tonight, is the things relating to, repealing the Todd regulations. So, again, hopefully we can get back into town hall in May and take that matter up and whatever else comes along. All right. Fourth item then on our agenda is a report of the zoning enforcement officer. Jack, what do you have for us?
So you had all asked me last meeting if I could kind of get a update on all of the active projects in town. So I tried to go do that to the best of my ability this last couple weeks. Matt, the project supervisor at NewMet, they're extending their parking lot back there and adding on in the rear of their building. He had called me the day I think it was a day or two after the last meeting, after we had like a freak storm event. They're doing great back there, making sure I went and made sure their sediment and erosion controls are up and everything after that major storm. They are continuing as planned, really nothing too major. It's a fairly straightforward project back there. FedEx sent us the new bond last week. We had talked about the bond reduction and getting the new one in. They had sent me that this week, came in the mail. I stopped by there and they were finishing up some site work. However, nobody was actually on site that day, so I didn't really get to talk to anybody. I sent a couple emails out and they had responded to me. 197 Indian River, they've been really good at keeping me updated and send me regular reports every week. I stopped by there. They were tying in their sewers. They had 2 out of the 3, those huge retaining walls that I'm sure you've seen from the road. 2 out of 3 of them are done. They're still moving around some dirt in the rear of the site to build that third one that kind of goes along closest to the VA. Let's see, I told you I stopped at the old bedding barn at 131. And I reached out to all of the necessary entities that need to be notified of a possible zone change just for the Todd district. I just re-notified them after Paul already did, including LI4 as a possibility, just to make sure that they were aware of the situation. And if they did have any issues with it, they could contact us with plenty of time, obviously, before we have that discussion.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say that's about my spiel.
All right. Any questions for Jack?
Oz, did we already approve the FedEx bond reduction? Did we do that a couple of meetings ago or no?
We approved it, and it sounds like Jack just actually got the bond, the renewed.
Yeah, they just got me the paperwork and everything this week.
So yeah, we did agree to significantly reduce the bond.
Right, down to about 4,200?
I think it was more than that.
It was more than that.
Oh, no,
think
175.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it was in the 100,000 range.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, anything else for Jack? All right, well then moving right along, next item on our agenda is the site plan application submitted by Temple Emmanuel of Greater New Haven for property known as 150 Derby Avenue. The proposal is to construct a 1,391 square foot addition to an existing structure to be used for 2 classrooms at a religious center. And I see the applicant is here through Pat Panza.
I'm here.
And David Pokris. Who would like to walk us through the application?
Excuse me,
I can take you through the app.
Oh, wait, one other thing.
Excuse me, David.
Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, I need to recuse myself from this application.
All right, Tom has a conflict on this, so it'll be just
Hi, Pat. Hi, David.
Yep. Hi, Tom.
Judy, Kevin, and Paul, okay? All right, Pat, you're gonna,
David, you want me to take this? Or you want to do it, David?
No, I'll take it.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. What we are doing is we have a building of 10,320 square feet. I appeared before you approximately 6 years ago, and we had replaced an existing educational building with a new addition to the existing synagogue building, and we reduced the ground square footage from 11,732 square feet to the now existing 10,320. Over a period of 6 years, our needs have changed slightly, and we are in need of 2 additional classrooms, and we are planning an addition of 24 by 58 adjacent to part of the synagogue building, which will bring our total building area up to 11,691, still just slightly below what we came in with in 2014. I had represented to you at that time that the existing farmhouse that was used for educational purposes would be demolished, and it has been. Okay. There is no change in the amount of parking that we are required to have. It was originally set for 63 cars. We currently still have the same 63 car requirement. However, we have 80 cars provided for, which was what we had provided for long before this particular addition was planned, and even prior to the 2014 addition. The building that we're constructing is a 1-story. It is being built in an area that is now existing landscaping, primarily lawn. Okay. We have been approved by Inland Wetlands. The addition is within the 100-foot distance from wetlands. We're approximately 85 feet from the wetlands.
so you have the approval from Inland Wetlands?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they're fine.
They've signed off on it? Okay.
Yes.
We have the official letter that Jack sent out to us on that.
How about the other sign-offs, Jack? Do we have everything?
Yep, everybody has signed off on this sheet.
The town engineer?
Everybody.
Okay.
Engineer, fire department, police department, everybody who's necessary for this.
All right, and they've actually signed off on the plan?
Correct.
I mean, physically on the,
Yeah, they've signed off on the stamp. We have it, a full copy of it.
okay. Okay, any questions for the applicant? Anybody?
David, Judy Smith here. You don't anticipate any increase in traffic with this addition, correct?
No. We really don't anticipate any increase. This is primarily reshuffling of what we have in there, but we do need additional classroom space. The traffic should remain approximately the same.
David, are these for new students, or are these for students that are currently existing that are being, as you said, reshuffled from various classrooms to new classrooms?
Right now, they're all existing.
Okay. I understand.
There are, how many existing classrooms, David?
This will give us a total of 6.
Okay. So you have 4 and you're adding 2.
Correct.
This is a use permitted by special use permit in the residential zone. It's not permitted as of right. I don't recall, but at some point was there, and it may predate me or my being on the commission, but was there ever a special permit issued?
Yes.
with respect to this use?
It was the special permit for this particular use, I believe, was issued originally in 1993 or 94, and then it was reissued in 2014. I had asked for an opinion as to whether or not a special permit stays with the property, so provided the use doesn't change. The town attorney has verified that that is the case, and the special permit is intact.
Okay. Jack, you can confirm that because you
Can
did have a
confirm, yep.
conversation with Vinny.
I had a full conversation with Vinny about it, and he assured me that that was correct. And because there's no use change on the property, they can essentially piggyback off that initial special use permit.
I mean, it strikes me that that's the case. That seems correct.
Yes.
to me.
Yep.
We're not changing the use in any way, just enlarging.
Correct. And
It's
the town council, Vin Marino, has confirmed that.
right.
We're actually bringing the area being utilized back to what we had prior to 2014.
Okay. How is that?
Well, when the synagogue was built in 1994, and I think that's the date of the original plans. I'm not sure the actual construction, but it was probably close to that. The synagogue building, let me pull up the old site plan. The synagogue building plus the house that was being used as the educational center, ground floor coverage was 11,132 square feet. We reduced that in 2014 down to 10,320. Now we're bringing it back to a total of 11,691, which is 27 square feet shy of what we had prior to 2014.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant?
Just one question. In my mind's eye, there's temporary trailers out in the front parking area that I don't see on the site plan.
I don't.
Temporary trailers. There's no temporary trailers there.
There
Oh, no.
weren't classroom trailers there?
That's
No.
on the Hebrew. That's on the other side on 34.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
terribly sorry.
That's okay.
that's
I forgive
closer
you.
to Racebrook Road, right?
Okay,
No.
right.
Now that I believe, in fact, I was involved in that project. That was for the New Haven Hebrew Day School.
Right, a little bit farther down on 34.
Mhm.
This is tucked away on Dog.
Right, this is off of Dogwood. My
Yeah.
apologies.
Right, you almost don't see it from 34, right?
Yeah, you almost can't at all. You pretty much have to be going through Dogwood to see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Pat, did you have anything to add?
Other than, obviously, we're being patient. We're probably going to have all the material there before we get into the ground, which is okay. But no, everything is on target. We're just trying to meet their deadline of September 1st. They're hoping, obviously, if the schools do reopen.
Whose
But,
deadline?
I'm sorry?
You said a deadline. Whose deadline?
The deadline that I have with Temple.
Oh, okay.
I'm the contractor. They have a time frame that they need me to be giving them a certificate of compliance.
Understood.
So obviously, time is of the essence. We realize that these are unusual times, and we're just trying to get this all in order. We want to make sure everybody it was in order. First of all, we thank you for getting this meeting together, because I know, again, it's difficult times. So other than that, getting back to the parking, David's absolutely correct. The way they have this set up is there's not all these events happening at the same time. You know, when they have, the synagogue, when they have their prayers, that's a different from the educational part. So that's all been laid out previously, even from the addition back on 214, which I've done.
Right. I see your parking calculation on the site plan. It looks correct to me, based on what's in the regulations.
Yes, that's
One space per four,
for 250,
right.
250 occupancy divided by,
Maximum adult occupancy, right.
right.
All right. All right, anything else? All right. I mean, it seems like a very straightforward application. I mean, you know, once you get over the question of whether special use permit is required, and I don't think it is, nor does anybody else, then you don't need a public hearing on the matter. It's just site plan approval. And we have, seems like a very straightforward project, not a very complicated project. We have all the sign-offs from the municipal department heads. So a lot of technical stuff that I took a quick look at, but I must admit, you know, I don't understand the, you know, the construction details that are included in the site plan. But I assume our town engineer is satisfied on all those matters. I don't know.
Correct.
Kevin, did you have a chance to look that stuff over? And
Yeah, I mean, it's a very de minimis change. They took one type of impervious area behind the building and traded it for roof area, added in the appropriate amount of storm drainage in a galley system to
so we have
protect wetlands. So,
nothing to worry about with respect to handling the stormwater runoff.
nope.
Right.
Yeah, and they didn't change any of the, egress or routing around the building. You know, it's just tucked in a quiet little corner.
Yeah.
Yep, so it's very straightforward.
Okay. All right. Anybody, Judy, any other comments?
Nope.
You're all right?
I'm all right.
Paul?
Yep, I'm fine too.
All right, then, no sense in wasting a lot of time on it. I think we're in agreement that project makes sense and that it's an application we can approve. I'd be interested in a motion to approve the application if somebody's prepared to do so.
So moved.
All right. Commissioner Kaplan has moved to approve the application. Do we have a second?
Second?
And seconded by Commissioner Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, very good. Congratulations, good luck with the project.
Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
I hope you can start right away.
Yes, that'll be
Yeah.
my discussion with
Pen,
Jack.
Dave, I'll reach out tomorrow.
Very good.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next year on Dogberg.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Take
Good
care.
night. Have a
Good night, guys.
Okay. We're approved.
All right. So the next item on the agenda, we'd like to go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter, which is a matter that's appropriate for executive session. So at this point, I'll ask Jack and Tammy to excuse themselves from the meeting. And when we're done in executive session, I'll call you, Jack, and you can get Tammy on the phone and rejoin
Mhm.
the meeting.
Sounds good to me.
And I need to know that we're off. We're not, broadcasting to the public.
We also need a
Right.
motion to go into executive session.
And we need a motion to go into executive session, yes. All right,
Okay.
let's do that first. Who's prepared to make that motion?
So moved.
All right, Commissioner Smith moves that we go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
Second.
Seconded by Paul Kaplan. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we've completed our conversation in executive session. We need a motion to return to the meeting.
So moved.
All right, Commissioner Kaplan moves that we return to our meeting. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tarenti. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, in executive session, we had a discussion regarding the zoning enforcement officer position. And I think we're prepared to make a motion on that matter and take a vote. So
Yeah.
is somebody, Paul
Yeah,
Kaplan?
so as, I'll make a motion that we employ Jack Demersion as the zoning enforcement officer for the town of Orange.
All right, very good. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Smith seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, good. Congratulations, Jack. Good luck.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, yes,
No.
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm sure you're going to do a good job.
Thank you. I sure hope to live up to the standards.
Good, good. All right. So since we're not conducting any public hearings tonight, that concludes our agenda. So all we need at this point is a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Ooh, move to adjourn.
Paul moves to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Full seconds.
All right, somebody seconded. Kevin Cornell.
Yeah.
seconded.
Stopped it.
All right.
Somebody.
All those in
Okay.
favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, meeting's concluded. Thank you all.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Have a
Have a
good
good night,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Night.